I want you to listen very carefully right now, because these words have the power to reshape your entire outlook if you truly let them in. Too many of us spend our days talking ourselves out of our dreams. We doubt ourselves before we even get started. We say, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready yet, or I don't think I can handle it. Those words rob you of your confidence before you've had a chance to tap into your true potential. Starting today, for just 7 days, I want you to take command of the words you speak to yourself. Make a commitment right now to say, I will feed my mind with powerful self-talk. I will cultivate confidence, focus, and determination by the words I choose. Because what you speak eventually shapes what you believe. And what you believe determines how you act. There's no more time for passive self-doubt. If you can shift the way you speak to yourself, you can shift the trajectory of your entire life. So let's begin this journey with conviction. Because if you apply these ideas consistently, the next 7 days can become a lifetime of transformation. Let me remind you of a fundamental truth. Your words create your world. It's a simple principle that often goes unnoticed. Words are like seeds you plant in your mind. If you plant seeds of doubt and fear, you'll inevitably harvest worry and hesitation. But if you plant seeds of confidence, gratitude, and self-respect, you'll produce a harvest of courage and opportunity. That's not just wishful thinking. It's a principle that stood the test of time. So starting today, replace any negative self-talk with powerful declarations of possibility. Anytime you catch yourself saying, I can't, stop immediately and say, I can, I will, I must. Anytime you think, I'm not worthy, say, I'm worthy of success, and I'll prove it through my actions. Your words become an unshakable foundation that sets you on a course to achieve your goals. There is no time to let doubt creep in. Every single day for the next 7 days, declare your future with conviction. Because if you don't declare it, how can you ever create it? Now, some of you might be wondering, does talking to myself like this really make a difference? The answer is yes, absolutely. When you speak words of power and affirmation, your mind begins to seek opportunities to confirm those statements. You start noticing doors that were always there, but hidden by your own negativity. The greatest battles are fought in the mind long before they play out in the real world. When you tell yourself, I'm confident and capable, you're wiring your brain to find solutions instead of reasons to quit. You're reprogramming your thinking patterns to expect success, which is a colossal advantage in any endeavor. On the other hand, if you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, the mind will do everything it can to prove that point. It'll highlight every flaw, magnify every mistake, and ultimately push you to self-sabotage. This is why you must choose your words with intent. Positive self-talk is not a superficial tactic. It's the difference between stepping forward or shrinking back. It's the difference between seeing possibility or seeing defeat. And I want you to see possibility because you have so much more potential than you even realize. If you've ever studied athletes at the highest level, you'll notice they practice the art of self-talk obsessively. They prepare for the big game by visualizing victory and telling themselves they are ready to win. They don't say, I'm afraid I might lose. They say, I'll give my best performance. I'm trained, I'm focused, I'm hungry for success, and I'm going to seize this moment. Why do they do this? Because the voice inside your head influences your physical performance. The mind sets a precedent for how the body reacts under pressure. If a champion believes they can triumph, that belief fuels their practice, their effort, and their resilience until they achieve victory. Now, imagine applying that to your life. For the next 7 days, talk to yourself like you're training for the biggest game of your life. Because in many ways, you are. You only get one life, one chance to shape your destiny. Why not speak into existence the confidence, discipline, and energy required to win? Why not tell yourself you've got what it takes and then back it up with your actions? That's what champions do. Keep this in mind. Talking to yourself in a positive manner doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean you never make mistakes or run into challenges. Rather, it means choosing the most constructive approach to confront those challenges. Life will test you. There's no doubt about that. And you might fail from time to time. You might stumble, get rejected, or face unexpected setbacks. But when you talk to yourself like a champion, you transform your failures into stepping stones for growth. Instead of saying, "I can't believe I messed up," you say, "I learned something valuable here, and I'm going to do better next time." Instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" you say, "This is a chance to prove my resilience." The words shift your mind from a place of defeat to a place of empowerment. And trust me, empowerment is the fuel you need to keep climbing higher. Everything significant that you want to achieve will require you to cultivate this resilience. And it starts with what you say to yourself every day. Over the next 7 days, I challenge you to add one powerful statement every morning to your routine. The moment you wake up, before you check your phone or turn on the news, pause and say something like this. Today, I am committed to growth. I am willing to learn, to persist, and to rise to every challenge I face. Make that your starting point. If you do this daily, you're setting the tone for how you'll handle the rest of the day. When difficulties arise, your mind will recall your morning declaration. I am committed to growth. And it will encourage you to keep going instead of giving up. This small adjustment in your routine might seem trivial, but trust me, it's the small, consistent actions that lead to the biggest breakthroughs. One well-chosen sentence in the morning can redirect the entire course of your day. And a consistent practice over a week can redirect the course of your life. If you truly want to transform, it's important to recognize how powerful visualization can be when combined with your positive self-talk. Speak the words, then paint a vivid picture in your mind of what those words represent. When you say, "I see myself overcoming this obstacle," actually visualize yourself stepping over the hurdle. See the outcome, feel the satisfaction, and let that vision stir up your motivation. This technique has helped countless high achievers in business, sports, and the arts to fast-track their progress. There's something about coupling words and images that gives you that extra jolt of drive. It's like fueling your mind with a double dose of possibility. But remember, words without corresponding action lead nowhere. Once you've spoken your affirmations and built your vision, you have to move. You must step into the day and execute. Talk, visualize, and act. That's the trilogy that unleashes real change. Have you ever noticed that when you start your day with a strong, empowering conversation in your mind, little irritations don't bother you as much? You face a traffic jam, and instead of flying into a rage, you think, "I'll use this time to gather my thoughts or listen to something educational. You have a disagreement with a colleague, and instead of taking it personally, you remind yourself, I'm a calm and solutions-oriented person. That is the shift. That's the kind of transformation I'm talking about. Positive self-talk allows you to respond instead of react, to adapt instead of crumble. And over time, those small victories accumulate. Day after day, you become more resilient, more focused, and more confident. That is the real payoff of talking to yourself with constructive, uplifting words. You grow stronger from the inside out. Now, I want to address something important: personal responsibility. All the self-talk in the world won't fix your life if you're not willing to take responsibility for where you are right now. You have to acknowledge that your future is shaped by your daily choices, not by external circumstances. Your background might have been challenging, your resources might be limited, or your environment might not be ideal. But the moment you decide that you have the final say in how you approach those difficulties, you take back your power. This is not about blaming yourself for every setback. It's about recognizing that your greatest leverage point is your ability to respond effectively. When you tell yourself, I am responsible for my progress, and I refuse to be defeated by obstacles, you position yourself as the architect of your destiny rather than a victim of circumstance. That mindset is the foundation for building a life of meaning and purpose. Consider the significance of gratitude in this process. Talking to yourself with gratitude is like adding fertilizer to those positive seeds you plant in your mind. When you say, I am grateful for the strength I have today, and I'm eager to build more, you reinforce the good that already exists in your life and invite more of it. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from problems to possibilities. And when you approach challenges from a place of gratitude, you tend to navigate them more gracefully. It doesn't mean you ignore your struggles. It means you acknowledge your blessings and use them as fuel. Gratitude also has a profound impact on your mood and energy levels. A grateful mind is more open and creative. It's more willing to seek solutions. So if you're serious about changing your life in 7 days, don't just speak words of confidence, speak words of gratitude. The powerful combination can elevate you to new heights if you let it. Here's another crucial element: consistency. You're not just going to talk positively to yourself for 1 day or even 1 week and expect a lifetime of change. Sure, those 7 days will get you started, but real transformation requires you to make this a regular part of your routine. Think of it like exercise. You can't work out once and expect lifelong fitness. You have to maintain the habit. The same goes for your internal dialogue. You have to feed your mind regularly with empowering words. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, a default setting where your first instinct is to believe in yourself, to look for solutions, and to maintain an optimistic perspective. That's the ultimate goal. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be persistent. When you slip up and catch yourself speaking negatively, correct it on the spot. Over time, those corrections become fewer, and the pattern of positive self-talk becomes more ingrained. Now let's talk about facing adversity. No matter who you are or what you aim to accomplish, adversity will show up at your doorstep. It might be financial hardship, health challenges, relationship turmoil, or professional setbacks. And in those tough moments, the voice inside your head can become your best friend or your worst enemy. If your inner voice is compassionate, confident, and solution-focused, you'll find resilience to push through. If it's laced with self-pity, anger, or despair, you'll find yourself going in circles. The choice is yours. When life hits hard, remind yourself, I am capable of enduring this. I am stronger than this obstacle, and I will find a way to overcome it. This statement isn't about denying the pain. It's about affirming your capacity to face it head on. Because deep down, you know you have what it takes. Sometimes you just need to speak that truth to yourself loud and clear. I believe it's also critical to talk about the role of wisdom. Wisdom isn't reserved for old age. It's something you cultivate through experiences, learning, and reflection. Each time you navigate a challenge successfully, remind yourself, I gained wisdom from this. I am more prepared for the next challenge. Don't just move on without acknowledging the learning. Let that knowledge sink in. The more you speak words of wisdom to yourself, the more you internalize those lessons. Tell yourself, I grow wiser with each experience. And watch how that shift in mindset changes the way you perceive life's hurdles. You won't run away from difficulties. You'll see them as opportunities for growth. And that shift alone can drastically alter your path. Because a person who embraces challenges with a mindset of growth often comes out stronger, more resilient, and more confident on the other side. Alongside wisdom is the concept of courage. We often misunderstand courage as the absence of fear. But true courage is about taking action, even when fear is present. It's about telling yourself, I see the risk, but I also see the reward, and I'm ready to try. You might feel your heart race or your hands tremble, but if your self-talk is strong, you'll step forward anyway. Remind yourself daily, I have the courage to act. I won't let fear dictate my future. That statement, repeated often enough, begins to override hesitation. You start seeing yourself as a doer rather than a dreamer. And that identity shift pushes you to take more calculated risks, to explore bigger opportunities, and to persist when the path seems uncertain. Because courage, in the face of fear, is what separates those who merely wish from those who truly achieve. Now, I'd like you to take a moment and visualize the person you could become if you consistently practice powerful self-talk for not just 7 days, but 7 weeks, 7 months, even 7 years. Imagine how your posture would change, how your voice would sound, how your goals would evolve. You'd likely be more confident, more driven, and definitely more optimistic. You'd set higher standards for yourself because you believe you can reach them. You'd treat others with more respect because you've learned to treat yourself with respect. You'd see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. That image of your future self should inspire you to keep going. It's a vision worth working for. And the good news is, it's entirely attainable. You just have to keep feeding your mind the right words and matching those words with brave, consistent actions. While we're on the subject of actions, let's make something clear. Self-talk isn't a substitute for hard work. It's a complement to it. You can tell yourself all day long that you're destined for greatness. But if you refuse to put in the time, the effort, and the discipline, greatness will remain out of reach. However, when you pair positive self-talk with action, when you actually do the work required, you're like a rocket that's been properly fueled. The combination of belief and effort propels you faster and farther than you could ever go with either one alone. So each time you speak powerful words to yourself, follow it up with action. Show the world, and more importantly, show yourself that you're serious. Speak it, then prove it. That's how you build momentum, and momentum is the key to accelerating your success. I want to highlight the concept of small, consistent gains. Many of us get overwhelmed by the magnitude of our goals. We look at the big picture and think, that's impossible, and we quit before we even start. But here's a reality check. Your future success is built by the small decisions you make each day. If you tell yourself, I can improve by 1% today, and that's enough for now, and you actually act on that, and then over time, those small increments compound. The same goes for your internal dialogue. You don't need to go from self-doubt to total confidence in one giant leap. You just need to intentionally choose better words today than you did yesterday. Keep doing that day after day and watch your confidence grow. One step forward each day is still a step forward. Before long, you'll look back and realize you've covered an enormous distance. That's the power of small, consistent actions combined with self-talk that encourages you to keep climbing. By now, you understand the power of your words, the importance of visualization, the necessity of taking personal responsibility, and the value of consistent, courageous action. So let's talk about what happens when your environment isn't supportive. Maybe you're surrounded by negative people who try to tear you down or belittle your dreams. Maybe your circumstances are difficult and you have limited time and resources. This is where your self-talk becomes even more crucial. If the outside world is giving you negativity, you owe it to yourself to supply positivity from within. You owe it to yourself to say, I won't accept these limiting beliefs. I have a vision, and I will keep it alive by speaking it into existence. You can't always control your environment, but you can control your inner environment. And that inner environment often becomes stronger when it's tested. Let adversity be the fire that forges your mental steel. At this point, you might be feeling a spark of inspiration. You might be thinking, yes, I can do this. That's fantastic. But what happens when you wake up tomorrow and the spark feels dimmer? That's when discipline comes into play. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. So when your alarm goes off and you're tempted to rush into your day without speaking those words of affirmation, you remind yourself, I am disciplined. I make time for what matters, and speaking power into my life matters. If you can push through that initial resistance, you'll find the habit gets easier. You'll begin to feel the benefits and won't want to miss a day. Discipline is the glue that holds your transformation together long enough for it to become ingrained in your identity. It's the difference between temporary enthusiasm and lasting change. Let's address fear head on. Fear is often the biggest roadblock standing between you and the life you want. It's that nagging voice that says, what if I fail? What if I look foolish? What if I'm just not cut out for this? Notice how all those questions start with what if, which is a future-based worry. The best antidote to fear is positive, present-focused action. Talk to yourself as if the outcome you desire is already in progress. Say, I am doing what it takes to succeed right now, and I trust the process. By keeping your self-talk grounded in the present moment, you steer your mind away from catastrophizing about tomorrow. Fear thrives in uncertainty, but determination flourishes in the here and now. The next time you feel fear creeping in, confront it with empowering words. Turn that fear into a catalyst for action, not a reason to retreat. I urge you to remember that these principles aren't just for self-improvement. They're for living a life of greater purpose and fulfillment. When you're confident and resilient, you have more to give to the people around you. You can inspire your children, uplift your coworkers, and bring positivity to every room you enter. This ripple effect extends far beyond your own achievements. Your self-talk doesn't just shape your destiny. It shapes the influence you have on others. People observe how you carry yourself, how you respond to challenges, and how you speak about your future. When they see you speaking life into your goals and then acting on it, they realize they can do the same. So don't view positive self-talk as a selfish pursuit. See it as part of your contribution to a world that could use a little more hope and a lot more courage. We've covered a lot of ground, so let's reinforce the core message. For the next 7 days, be vigilant about how you talk to yourself. Speak words that empower, encourage, and uplift. Replace doubt with confidence. Replace blame with responsibility. Replace fear with courage. And replace negativity with gratitude. This shift in your internal dialogue will require practice, but the payoff is immeasurable. By the end of those 7 days, you'll notice changes, maybe subtle at first, but they'll be there. You'll handle stress differently, approach tasks with more eagerness, and view your future with greater optimism. And once you've caught a glimpse of what's possible with just 7 days, you'll never want to return to old patterns of self-defeat. You'll see that the real magic lies not in external circumstances, but in the words you speak to yourself every single day. Now, as we move toward a conclusion, I want to make this even more practical. Choose one phrase that resonates deeply with you, something that addresses your biggest weakness or fear. Maybe it's, I am enough, or I create my own opportunities, or I have the power to rise above any setback. Whatever it is, make that your mantra for the next week. Write it down. Put it on your bathroom mirror, your refrigerator, or the screensaver on your phone. Let it be the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see before bed. Whenever you catch yourself slipping into old, negative patterns, say your mantra out loud. Feel it, own it, and most importantly, act on it. You'll be amazed at the shift in your mindset after just a few days. This simple practice can become the cornerstone of a more confident and purpose-driven life. Before we wrap up, let's acknowledge something important. This isn't easy. Changing your internal dialogue requires breaking old habits, facing uncomfortable truths, and embracing new possibilities. You might stumble along the way. Maybe you'll miss a day or find yourself slipping into negative talk under stress. But don't let that derail you. Pick yourself up, reaffirm your commitment, and keep going. Real growth is never a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, victories and setbacks. The key is perseverance. Talk to yourself not just when you feel like it, but especially when you don't. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you become the kind of person who can say with conviction, I am the architect of my destiny. My words matter. My actions matter. And I am capable of extraordinary things. So, here's your invitation to begin anew. Start speaking to yourself with the kind of reverence and determination you'd reserve for someone you truly believe in. Because that someone is you. Take this challenge seriously for just 7 days, and you'll witness the start of a transformation that can last a lifetime. Speak confidently, take responsibility, embrace gratitude, learn from every experience, act with courage, and remain consistent in the small actions. Keep your mind on growth, keep your heart on gratitude, and keep your spirit on resilience. When you talk to yourself with words that reflect your higher potential, you'll be amazed at what unfolds. Now is your time. Don't wait for tomorrow or a better situation. Begin today, begin now, and watch how your life begins to shift in remarkable ways. And remember, you are worthy, you are capable, and you have everything you need inside you to become the best version of yourself. Speak it, believe it, and then live it, starting right now.